Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another episode of Did You Know featuring Rengar. Please don't forget to throw in a like if you did enjoy this episode and check out the previous episodes, but without further ado, let us jump straight into his abilities. Remember that Savagery and his empowered version will stack their own respective buffs, meaning that at max strength, if you use both of them right after each other, you will get about 150% attack speed buff. Don't forget that Rengar does have very good potential at juking enemy players when you can leap over walls, such as putting a ward somewhere and then leaping from a bush to a jungle camp or minion to perform some pretty special and spectacular jukes. An important thing to remember is that his regular abilities do not share a cooldown with his empowered abilities when he's at 5 ferocity. While Rengar is invisible in his ultimate form, Savagery seems to be the only ability that he can cast while not revealing his stealth. However, casting any other ability like E or W will break him out of his stealth. Speaking of which, there is a very neat trick to do with Rengar which will maximize the damage capabilities. What you do is you get 5 ferocity stacks, you proc your Q, you pop your ultimate, and you let it sit on you until you get 5 ferocity stacks back. You jump on your target, auto attack to get the first Q that you already have buffered on you off, and then you Q again to get the second empowered Q off, and then you Q a third time to get the regular Q off, resulting in 3 Qs in a row. Unlike Savagery stacking its regular and empowered effects, Battle Roar will not stack armor bonuses but rather refresh the duration of the previous. It is extremely important to remember that Savagery is a beast at taking down turrets extremely fast, so keep this in mind if you ever decide to split push for your team, as you will destroy a turret in a matter of seconds. Even though Rengar's passive allows him to jump at enemies within 0.5 seconds of leaving a bush, it does not seem to work if you combine it with Flash, but it will work if you combine it with his stealth from his ultimate. It seems that Rengar's passive will allow him to jump more frequently on enemy champions based on how much attack speed he currently has. The more attack speed, the faster he will jump, because his jump does proc off of his auto attacks. Even though his Savagery, which is his Q, can critical strike, the critical damage does not amplify the Savagery's damage that it applies, but rather your base damage first and then the Savagery damage. AKA, if your auto attack for example does 100 damage, the critical will deal 200 because critical strikes are double your damage, and then it will add the Savagery's damage, which whatever it may be. Did you know that Thrill the Hunt will also reveal any stealth champions nearby along with regular champions, whether they are in a bush or not? Keep this in mind when hunting for your next prey, because it can be very useful to catch that sneaky Evelyn or Twitch. Alright, let us discuss some really cool facts and lore about Rengar, because I'm sure you can guess there's quite a bit to cover. Rengar was designed by Classic. Rengar is a reference to the Predator franchise, as his looks, his blades, his haircut, his passive Unseen Predator all seem to resemble the hunters from the movies. An even better example of this is Headhunter Rengar, because it is an even stronger resemblance to the Predator, as its looks resemble them that much more, on top of making a distinct sound during his ultimate, which is very similar to the one that the Predators make when they are hunting in the movies, and it sounds something like this. In the Headhunter Rengar splash work, Rengar is wearing the Bone Tooth necklace. You can also see the skull of Baron and Dragon on the left, and apparently his shoulder armor seems to resemble Vilemoth. Part of Rengar's looks might have been inspired from a planeswalker called Ajani from the Magic the Gathering series. Some also say that Rengar's lore may have been inspired by an old short story called The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Conall. Rengar is the second champion to have a unique item, the Bone Tooth necklace, the first of course being Victor. Rengar's dance refers to the New Zealand tribal dance Maori Haka. Rengar was actually raised by a human who is also known as a legendary hunter. Rengar was bored as there were no monsters that were challenging enough for him to fight, and then Kha'Zix out of nowhere showed up seeming to kill everything in its path, and Rengar quickly jumped to the challenge to fight such a beast. This was the first time that Rengar failed to kill his prey, and he also suffered a loss of his left eye thanks to Kha'Zix. After retreating, he kept feeling the pain from his wounds, but he seemed to have felt more joy since now the hunt was on. Rengar is one of the few champions to have a passive that is utilized from bushes along with Caitlyn and Nidalee. An interesting thought is that Rengar's concept can be related to the Eye of the Tiger song by Survivor, as he only has one eye and he is the tiger, making him have the Eye of the Tiger. His ultimate, Thrill of the Hunt, could also reference Thrill of the Fight. Rengar is also an anagram for Ranger. The conflict between Rengar and Kha'Zix refers to the Alien vs Predator series. There is an event between Rengar and Kha'Zix called The Hunt is On. It activates after Rengar has bought Bonetooth Necklace with at least 10 stacks and Kha'Zix has used all 3 of his evolution points and all members on all the teams are alive. The first one to kill the other or get an assist in the kill will get a huge bonus. If Rengar gets the kill, he gets Kha'Zix's head replaced with the necklace, granting him full stacks no matter what. And if Kha'Zix is the victor, he will get a 4th evolution point to spend. There's also a really cool interaction between the two. If Rengar stealths and a Kha'Zix stealths beside him, Rengar will actually have a couple of quotes that he will say and they sound something like this.
I see you, wretched creature. I found you, beast.
Alright guys, and that unfortunately marks the end of this episode of Did You Know featuring Rengar. Please don't forget to throw in a like on this video if you did enjoy it and maybe share with your friends and all that good stuff. And also, don't forget to write a comment below to suggest who you want to see next, because the previous one was actually decided by a fan named Urbina Gyro, who asked if I can do a Did You Know Rengar. That got quite a bit of thumbs up, so either write your own or thumbs up the one that you see that you want to see next. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I'll see you next time. Peace!